This is the Ballgame on NorthJerseySports.com. Brought to you by an all-purpose limousine. We'll take you for a ride without taking you for a ride. Back on the Ballgame, NorthJerseySports.com's original multimedia presentation. I am Cory Doviak, and you heard it right. The ball game is back. Fall 2013, multimedia on NorthJerseySports.com. And to get it all started, I brought in my best guy. He is Richie Ballgame Barton. What's up, Richie B?
Not much, man. Not much. Just kicking the year off. We're doing it, a little thunder, a little lightning today. Cancel some games, but we'll be back at it tomorrow and raring to go for the weekend.
Well, I mean, first of all, tonight we are going to have the pleasure of getting Paramus Catholic football coach Chris Partridge on. They are highly ranked in the nation. You covered them last week. Good things going on over at Paramus Catholic. It should be fun to talk to Chris later on about a good story that's happening in Paramus over there.
No doubt about it. I mean, you only have to go back 5 years, and you're talking Paramus Catholic is, maybe, kind of a bottom feeder. Let's be honest. They were not a strong program, and Partridge came in and re-energized the program, and then, they started to improve each year, and Pepper's transferring in from Don Bosco really took it to another level. Last year, a state championship in an amazing game, and now here they are. I mean, you're talking, ranked as high as number 3 in the nation.
Yes, it's a great story. But
quite a surprise.
Yeah, and before we get to that, though, we should talk about, you mentioned it a little bit, but why we're in here doing multimedia tonight and not out covering games, because you and I are afraid to get wet. We don't have cold feet. We're afraid of wet feet.
That's true. I mean, listen, if I'm going to get sick, it's going to be December. If I get sick after a state championship game, I could live with that. Not happening on week 1.
And in our line of business, there is nothing worse than you go to a game, you show up, you get out of the car, it strikes lightning, and then you stand around talking to yourself for a half hour while you wait out a lightning delay. We ain't got time for that, Richie B. We got things to do.
No, well, even worse than that is when they come back on the field and then another lightning strike, and it's another half hour. Then you're just on suicide watch.
Yes, and I've been doing this long enough to know that once the first one happens, the little voice in my head starts to say, "Get in the car, get in the car, get in the car." And I, as you know,
I was going to say you tended to listen to that voice.
Yep, get in the car and get out of there and go find somebody to interview. So we'll do that tonight with Paramus Catholic head coach Chris Partridge. Let's get right to it. All right, Richie B. Well, now we are being joined by our first guest of the fall 2013 high school sports season. And really, I don't know if we could have got a guy who would be more interesting to talk to at this time, and he is Paramus Catholic head football coach Chris Partridge. Coach, thanks for joining us.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me, as always.
No, it's a good thing you have built over there and continue to build. I mean, just talk about Paramus Catholic football coming off a win on week 1 over an out-of-state opponent with a big-time reputation. You guys shut them out. Just talk about where you stand here after 0 week heading into game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of energy around the program. I think we feel decent after that game. We were a little sloppy offensively and had some things to iron out and correct this week, but we feel good about our defense, and I think we had a really great week of practice, and we're looking forward to taking on a Barton team that is a very good football team, well coached, and and they're gonna give us a nice challenge, so we'll be ready to go.
Probably at this time last year there was a lot of talk of Paramus Catholic can be good. This year, everybody knows Paramus Catholic is good. How about the mindset for you, and what are you trying to talk to your players about? Because now you've done it, you're trying to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, our kids are pretty good. We have a lot of seniors and a lot of kids that played a lot of football, and they took the losses, they took the lumps. Guys like Tyrone Washington and Steve Shanley and Nick Flores were on the field as freshmen, that took, 60-0 defeats. And so we're not going to get overconfident in any way, shape, or form. Our kids are ready to work every day and earn everything they get. And, so we take it one step at a time here, and, we're hungry. we won a state championship last year, and then 3 days later on Monday, this team was back working out, ready to go. We didn't give them time to breathe or think about how good they were or anything like that. We were just working towards, bigger and better things.
Talk about, obviously, before we get into the obligatory, talk about Jabril Peppers. Right. I first want to talk about your defense. And Flores is as underrated of a player as there is in North Jersey. I mean, he seemed to be all over the place, just blowing up plays, making big tackles. I mean, just talk about the leadership that he brings to your defense, which, at times was a little up and down last year, but, against Gilman, they were outstanding.
I mean, first off, Nick Flores is a 4-year starter for us. He's played a ton of football. He is as tough and nasty as you're going to get. I'd put him against anybody in the trenches. I feel, and I think he's going to earn it. He's the best D lineman, in the state. And he plays inside, and, he's just dominant. His leadership, he's the captain, obviously, for us. I named him captain right after the state championship win for this year. I didn't have to wait to see how he developed and matured. He was the guy, and he's just the guy who brings it every single day in practice. He gets our whole line way better because he doesn't take plays off either. And he dismantles our offense sometimes, every day in practice. So he's a kid who brings it all the time, and, he's a valuable component to our defense.
And I think his energy, his constant motor really rubs off on the other guys as well.
Oh, there's no doubt. When he's always going, he gets that whole D-line flowing, he gets the linebackers going, it's an exciting thing when he gets excited and energetic, and, it's pretty much on every play, so he's invaluable to have in there.
All right, now we can get to the obligatory. We did all right, though. I think we're 4 minutes into the interview, and we didn't ask about Jabril Peppers yet, so that might be... But let's talk about him. Just having the blue chip national recruit, not only does he do so many things for you on the field, but he's, in this day and age of intensified high school sports coverage, especially football, the attention that he brings to the program and, getting kids to want to play for Paramus Catholic. You're a Paramus Catholic guy. For many years, it was the big three, and can Paramus Catholic join them? And now it's can those big three catch Paramus Catholic? So, just talk about what he can do to not only elevate you on the field, but also the program itself.
Yeah, first off, I'm not ready to say that we're, number one in the big three or big four or anything like that. It's not like those guys are chasing us. We've still got a lot to prove here.
Absolutely.
It's 1 year, and, we're in the second year here, but, at some point in the future, we'd like to build to being a perennial number one. But, we're still got a lot to prove. And, I think all 4 teams are tremendous this year. It's going to be an exciting year of football. But when you talk about Jabril, it proves, what kind of program you have. For him to want to come to your program and join your program and flourish in it and have the successes that he's had at being maybe the all-time best football player in New Jersey, it just shows that, our program, our school can handle that. And, my ultimate goal is to coach the best players, in the state. So, and having Jabril backs that up. The fact that we're able to do what we do with him and move him all around and, and use him in different spots and communicate different things, and he's a leader on the team, and, he's had such successes. It just shows that, the program and Paramus Catholic can handle that and wants that in the future.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Richie.
Yeah. I was going to getting off Jabril and getting back onto what is ahead, and that is Del Barton. And for those who don't remember, Del Barton, through the better part of a quarter and a half, was knocking you guys around a little bit last year. Up 16-0, then you guys righted the ship, came back, and eventually won that game. But I think that the way that game started really opened the eyes of talking to Peppers and Shanley after the game. They said, to be honest, last year we thought Del Barton was going to be okay, and they turned out to be way better than they thought we were, and we learned a lesson that day, not to overlook anyone for a second. Do you feel this time around, hey, we've got to start quicker, we know what they have, we can't, fall into the same kind of trap?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Last year they came out and they punched us in the mouth, and they out-physicaled up there early, and we kind of, we staggered a little bit there. And they did a great job coming out strong. And, this year, our kids are challenged. Don't let them do that. Come out and just as strong as they're going to come out and make sure that, we have a fast start. So, we're going to play to, as you do every game, to start fast. But last year's definitely in the back of our minds, without a doubt. We're thinking about it. We're talking about it. We're not looking past it. We're going to be ready to go when that whistle blows this year. And, we don't want to let them, on top at all.
Coach, how about playing this type of schedule? I mean, obviously you opened with Gilman out of state. You got 3 other out-of-state opponents. And then really, the backlog is at the end. Like you said, it's going to be a fun season of football. It really is, because when you consider that you got Don Bosco Prep, St. Joe's, and Bergen Catholic in 3 of the last 4 games of the season. I mean, is that the way, if you had your druthers, would that be the way you would want to set it up, where you get, some competition against teams you haven't seen, and then, you should be primed and ready to go for the home stretch?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, we went out and we sought out Gilman and we sought out St. Ignatius because of their physicality. We wanted to play physical, hard-nosed, well-coached football teams to get us ready for a state playoff run. So, that's why we played those 2 guys. And Del Barton too, very well coached. They're going to get lined up. They're going to do some things to out-scheme you. It's learning experiences for us every day. So, we set up the schedule for those reasons. So there's no doubt, we're getting ready for winning the state playoffs and winning our league, and that's our ultimate goal here.
Right.
It's not this mythical national championship, and that's not why you schedule these games. You schedule these games because you want guys that are going to prepare you. You want guys, systems that are going to prepare you, and things of that nature. I think some people have a misconception. I think other schools sometimes schedule games by a misconception. I didn't want to play any finesse teams that run a system that no one else runs. We wanted to play guys that are going to prepare us for our league and our state championship, and that's the games we chose.
Yeah, but you do have to admit that those 3 of those last 4 games, that is going to be a high time in Bergen County football.
It's going to be great, man. Hey, whenever these 4 guys go against each other, and let's not sleep on DePaul. They got,
right.
They might have more Division I athletes than all of us. So, whenever these 5 schools are going after each other this year, it's going to be, I wouldn't miss it if I was a fan. Put it that way. I'm
going to send Richie Barton to every game. Go ahead, Rich. You got another question for the coach, and I got one more.
What we talked about after the game, the concern is, you have such a seasoned, experienced, talented offensive line, and for them to have as many false start penalties as they had, I think they had 6. I think they had 9 offensive penalties overall, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean that's a huge concern. With so much experience coming back, what did you talk about with them this week and kind of shoring that up?
It wasn't so much something that we had to do to fix it. It was more of this is unacceptable and it better get fixed, because we do have experienced guys. And it wasn't something that we needed to fix. It was something that we needed to express displeasure with and make sure that they understood that this is unacceptable. And, I think they did, and I think they do. It's lackadaisical. It's just, not focused on, the proper steps of starting an offensive play. And, I don't think I'd be shocked if you see something like that from us again.
All right, my last one for you. You said earlier that you haven't, starting right after the state final last year, you didn't give the kids time to breathe. How about for yourself? I mean, you're uniquely qualified to know the progression that this Paramus Catholic program has taken. You were a part of the last state championship team. You played on it. And to be back here as a head coach, the new turf is in at the stadium. Richie Barton said he had to, fight for his spot on the sideline. You got a lot of interest around the program. Have you given yourself a chance to say, wow, this is pretty cool? Or are you, in the day-to-day grind and really not paying much attention to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's great what we have going, and, I think I admire the school more than what we've done as a football program. I mean, I'm fired up about, being where we are, but at the same time, I'm on the day-to-day grind. I'm not going to quit until I'm good and ready to to retire, you know. So
right.
You know, that's not, but the school, the atmosphere, you know, the kids, the environment, you know, that's what's awesome to me. You know, what the environment, our game, the environment of our game with the whole student body, and you know, with our kids, you know, the way they act in the classroom, and you know, and things like that. That's what I admire more. You know, outside of the football stuff, what we've been able to create, you know, in terms of just the energy and stuff like that. You know, that's what I'm really proud of.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, you know, the model of, you know, using athletics as the, you know, to get students into the school, you know, that's a model that parochial schools can follow because, you know, it does come down to dollars and cents, and you do have to get kids in the door, and it's really a commercial for you. You know, come see our football team play, get on campus, and, you know, see what we can offer you. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, they're without a doubt. So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting, it's fun, and you know, it's the best thing is, you know, when you're in the grind like this, is being able to play in big time games. Right. You know, being able to play in so many people and having, you know, people care about your program, and these colleges, you know, come in, you know, every day, you know, all day type of thing, looking at your kids. I mean, that's what makes it all worth it.
Mm. Rich, you got anything else for the coach, or can we? I know he's got a busy schedule.
No. Well, I think we're pretty good. We pretty much covered. Just I mean, we could go on for, you know, hours.
Yeah, and we have done that.
And we have a long season to go. I don't want to run out of questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And we would like to have. Yeah, we definitely want to have you on again, Coach, because we appreciate the time. You know, we're watching what you're doing over there. We think it's great stuff, and it's a great story for North Jersey sports.
I appreciate it, guys. Anytime. No problems at all.
Great. We'll talk to you again, and good luck this weekend. Well, Richie B., it's exciting. You get excited when you talk to a guy like that. He's all pumped up. What did he say? I'm not ready to take a breath until I'm ready to retire.
Yeah. Listen, he made me want to line up. Well, except for the fact that it's wet out, you know, of course.
Yeah. And you're a guy really without a position on the football field. I mean, you might be a good kicker, maybe.
Well, no, I would be a pretty decent kicker. And punter, and I think I'd be an all right at quarterback. I think I would. I really do.
I don't know, man.
Not now. I mean, now I'm like pudgy and gross, and I probably couldn't cover anyone, and I would get hurt trying. But back in the day, I think I would have been a decent corner.
Yeah, see, I don't know many 5'2" doughy quarterbacks. Especially
I love to hit. Unfortunately, I did it on the soccer field, and I used to get red cards. That didn't work out so well.
And also, in your present physical condition, I mean, would you like to let the audience in on your latest ailment and how it happened?
Yeah, well, it just so happened that I was playing wiffle ball in an annual you know, get together with guys from home. You know, a couple you know, good times, some steaks, some burgers, and I was swinging at a pitch, and I tore my groin. That's right, Dory. Listen, I gutted it out through the rest of the tournament, but it was incredibly painful, and I basically just got made fun of for hours and had to take it, and it was not an enjoyable day. Yeah. Not to mention the 2 games after that, I lost 13-0 and 10-0. Ugh, embarrassing.
Not good. It's maybe good that you stay off the football field.
Maybe I wouldn't be a quarterback after all.
Right. You've fallen a long way since we beat Brian Dunn and Tim Byron in wiffle ball.
Oh, God, those are the good old days.
That was the penultimate moment of your career. But NorthJerseySports.com, we are back. We are working daily. So this is just the start of what's going to be a long multimedia season. A lot of coverage, a lot of pictures, a lot of everything else. NorthJerseySports.com. Richie B., you got something to say?
Oh, I'm just ready for week 1. Lacing them up, booting them through the uprights.
Meet you downstairs in the bar and her. Your rolled up sleeves in your skull t-shirt. You say, what did you do with him today? And sniff me.